Hello again, and welcome to Kobold's Storytime. We last left our heroes, Jack the brooding warlock, Verkuti the young sorcerer, Karis the fierce fighter, and Pickles the silly monk, who had just escaped arrest from the law. They had broken into the Zhentarim warehouse and had defeated the Kenkus that were there. They had found Renaer, Neverember, son to the last Open Lord, who was generally well despised. Renaer had been mistaken for Floon, who had gotten mixed up and incorrectly taken during a turf war brawl. The Xanathar Guild, after killing the Zhentarim thugs, grabbed the wrong human. It seems they wanted Renaer because he might know the location of a magical item, the elusive Stone of Galore. So should we head to the sewers? Pondered Verkuti.
Yeah, hopefully Floon is still alive,
Sighed Karis. Living around the dock area for basically his entire life, Pickles knew where the nearest drain was and led them to it. With all his might, he shifted the grate, and revealed a ladder down into the sewers. Jet cast light on the tip of his staff, its glow emitting light like a torch. They reluctantly climb down and scan their horizons. A putrid stream flows along the sewer tunnel, which leads in two directions. In one direction, they see a tiny symbol drawn on the wall in yellow chalk. A palm-sized circle, with 10 equal-distance spokes radiating out from its circumference. "Oh, the symbol!" shouted Pickles.
Yeah, the Kenku said to follow yellow signs,
reassured Karis. The group followed the signs successfully and managed not to get lost. After an hour of following the signs through the tunnels, they came to a three-way intersection. There is a ladder here that leads up to a stone shaft capped by a circular metal cover. One of the familiar chalk symbols is marked on a wall nearby, and floating near the symbol is a spherical, grapefruit-sized creature with a bulging central eye and 4 stumpy eye stalks. "Do you think it's friendly?" questioned Pickles. The creature bared its teeth. "No," snapped Verkuti. Beams of light shoot from the gazer's eye stalks, the daze ray catching Karis. Verkuti launches a firebolt, and Jack finishes it off with his Eldritch Blast. The corridor fell silent again. "Well, should we go upstairs, or continue forward?" asked Verkuti. "They must still be down here. The Kenku said in the sewers," answered Pickles. They continue forward for a bit when the main sewer tunnel expands into a circular hub, where they see a pair of arrow slits carved into its outer walls, directly across from each other. 2 passages continue to the north and south, and a stone door is set to the back wall on a stone ledge to the west. The party climbs out of the sewer and onto the stone ledge. "You think this is it?" whispered Pickles.
"It has to be, right?"
replied Karis. The group goes to the door and opens it slowly, revealing another small corridor. "Keep quiet. There's another arrow slit," pointed Pickles. Karis squinted, looking up into the darkness. The faint light from Jack's staff was not giving her much light. Before she could catch herself, though, she tripped and landed on the floor with a crash from all her armor. Rustle noises came from behind the arrow slits. Verkuti and Pickles dashed forward, opening the door and rounding the corner leading to the arrow slits. 2 goblins had awoken and pulled out their weapons. "Kill the goblins!" shouted Verkuti. "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Not all of us!" joked Pickles. One of the goblins leapt at Verkuti, stabbing him with a short sword. "Oh, this guy's dead!" snapped Verkuti. Verkuti pointed at him, casting Hellish Rebuke. Instantly, the goblin was engulfed in flames and slumped to the ground. Jack ran up the stairs and shot the remaining goblin with his Eldritch Blast. As Karis caught up to the group, Verkuti cast Cure Wounds, healing himself.
"You can heal?"
said Jack in a shocked voice. The party continued to check the nearby rooms. The first room seemed to be a storage room, only containing rusted weapons and clothes thrown about on the floor. The other room, which had the arrow slit, looked over the sewer intersection and the hallway they were just in. The only things of any value were the 2 cots in the room, but the heroes decided to leave them. The party continued slowly forward as the hallway started to descend. The group entered a large room with a plethora of empty cots scattered on the floor. "Do you hear something?" asked Verkuti as he peered toward the nearby door.
"It sounds like people struggling,"
exclaimed Karis as she swung the door open. A man with eyes tattooed all over his body and a dwarf with dark gray skin were doing their best to barricade a door across the room.
"What are you doing? You know it won't work against that,"
the man shouted.
"That's the guy from last night, at Yawning Portal,"
pointed Jack. Just then the door burst open and a gelatinous gray mass spewed from the small room they were attempting to barricade. It engulfed the gray dwarf. He shouted as his skin began to burn. The man looked at the party, narrowing his eyes angrily.
"Ye aren't supposed to be here."
The gray ooze began to slime its way back into the small room, with its prize fully engulfed.
Where is Floon?
Demanded Karis.
Ha! You think you scare me? Grumshaw had me flayed if he knew I even talked to you.
He spat. I don't think he's gonna tell us anything, said Pickles. Well, we can't just have him running around while we continue looking for Floon, whispered Furcuti. Karis looked behind her, and then quickly spun around, bashing the tattooed man in the face. He slumped over, not moving.
There. Now we have more time.
The party started to move towards the next doorway, leading further into the hideout. Pickles noticed Jack had stayed back. What are you doing?
Solving our problem a little more permanently,
Jack said coldly as he opened the closet door and flung the unconscious body towards the ooze. The party was taken aback.
We didn't need to kill him.
Karis said angrily as Jack caught up to the group. Yeah, but our problem is solved now, Furcuti chimed in. The group continues down the corridor, and they eventually come to stairs going up into a much larger room. Threadbare curtains hang on the east wall of this long hall, in the middle of which is a muscular half-orc with dingy robes. He stands on the chest of a human male with wavy red-blonde hair. Fire swirls around the orc's clenched fist, and his victim cries and squirms helplessly beneath him. Seated on a raised platform to the south is a nightmarish figure wearing black robes. It has large white eyes and rubbery purple skin, with 4 tentacles encircling its inhuman mouth. It cradles and gently caresses what looks like a disembodied brain with claws. The monstrosity, seeing the heroes, floats off his chair and glides to the large door on the west wall. He places the brain on the ground before leaving the room, but first looks at the half-orc, and then to the heroes before leaving.
Yeah, I'll deal with them, Nihilor.
Grumshaw snarls. Pickles immediately darts around the half-orc, wanting to focus on the intellect devourer. My player got a little meta here. He was like, I know what that is, I'm not playing around with that. Grumshaw spread out his fingers, pointing at the heroes, unleashing a spray of fire from his fingertips. Karis advances, holding her shield. Furcuti launches a firebolt from behind, catching the orc wizard in the chest. Floon in all this chaos starts to crawl away, working his way to the curtains on the east side of the room. Karis is dropped, unable to take any more punishment from the wizard. Jack fires a blast at the big brain with legs, the intellect devourer, killing him. Pickles, with his threat neutralized, leaps at the half-orc wizard, kicking him in the face. The wizard drops and the room goes quiet, except for the slight stuttering from behind the curtains. I'll get Karis, you get Floon, Furcuti tells Pickles. Pickles walks over to the curtains. Hey, it's okay. We're here to save you. Volo sent us. Please, I don't know where the stone is. Floon flinches. Furcuti knelt down to Karis and touched her, reviving her and healing her burns. The sound of a watermelon falling from a great height. The half-orc's head lay open, and Jack standing next to him.
He won't be bothering us anymore.
After calming Floon down, they asked him if he knew a way out. I saw people go in and out that way. He pointed to one of the small rooms on the east wall, the one without a curtain. They started to look in the room, but it was empty. Hey, this stone looks off. Pickles walked over to the stone and turned it over, revealing a tunnel. Just then a crash came from the larger room. Furcuti looked and saw that the large doors had been opened and the tentacle-faced monster had entered the large room, looking extremely angry. Quick, we gotta go, Furcuti whispered frantically. They quickly jumped down the hole and resealed the stone above them. Here, hold my hand, Pickles whispered. Fearing that they would be caught if they cast light, Pickles and Furcuti helped the humans, who couldn't see in pitch black. After following the tunnel, they arrived at another ladder. Pickles climbed the ladder and quietly peered through the hatch. It looks like a cellar, he whispered. They all slowly climbed up into the room. It was full of wooden barrels, bags of different grains, and the smell of fermentation. They quietly snuck up the stairs and into the next room. This was an open room, fashioned like a small shop.
Oh, I didn't see you come in. Sorry, we're not open for another couple hours.
The halfling paused.
How did you get in, anyway?
The heroes all snapped straight up in fear. We just opened the door. You must have left it unlocked, Furcuti lied. The stout halfling wiped his eyes.
I guess I just forgot. Well, it's only 7 in the morning, so can you please leave?
He asked them to return later, when they were open, and he bid them a good day. They all finally took a deep breath as they got to the street. They looked up at the sign in the window. Peabody's Brews.
Well, let's get to the yawning portal and talk to Volo,
said Karis. Hopefully we can get some rest after, Furcuti said with exhaustion. Luckily, the party didn't have to go far. Yawning Portal was only a couple miles walk. They barged in. The Yawning Portal was a 24/7 business, so there were still plenty of people around laughing and carousing. Volo was alone though, drinking anxiously. When he sees Floon, he leaps into the air. "Oh, Floon, me boy! Thank you for finding him." They all sit down and Floon tells them what happened. "Well, Renaer and I were drinking. After you had left," he gestures to Volo, "and we were assaulted by Zents. They took us to the warehouse on Kendall Lane. But then, Zenithar's men showed up and started murdering the Zents. Renaer scrambled away, I think."
Yes, he did. We found him.
Karis chimed in. "Oh, that's good. I was worried he didn't make it. Once they took me down to the sewers, that orc started beating me, asking me where a stone was. I think he said the Stone of Galore, or something like that." Floon started to rub his head. "I think I need to rest. I can tell you guys whatever you want, but after I rest." Floon got up and walked towards Durnan, asking for a room. Volo waved to Durnan to signal that he would be paying for the tab. Durnan gave a disapproving look. Volo nervously smiled and turned back to the party. "I confess that I have but few coins to spare, but never let it be said that Volo reneges on a promise. Allow me to present something much more valuable." He holds out a scroll tube. "This is a deed to a remarkable property here in Waterdeep. We'll need a magistrate to witness the transfer of ownership. I'll arrange for the meeting after one of you have inspected the estate and deemed it satisfactory."
Wait a second, you said you'd pay us.
Pickles exclaimed. "Yeah, 10 dragons apiece now, and 10 times that when you find Floon," Furcuti mocked. "This is a valuable deed to a grand manor, in the prestigious North Ward, no doubt. It's nothing short of a villa used by some of the nobles," Volo explained. "Please rest here for some time. My treat, and we will head straight to the courthouse after this to have the deed signed over. I'll even pay the estate transfer tax." The heroes were greatly overdue for some rest, so they each complied and went to their rooms for some well-deserved rest. This is where our adventure pauses for now. In the next episode, the players will get to visit their lovely new estate and get to play around in the city. Thank you, fellow kobolds, for watching and listening. As always, please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.